Hi friends, welcome to part 3 of this bandana tutorial. I am so happy you've made it this far and followed along with me. Hit subscribe if you want to be updated of my next pattern release, as well as don't get confused in this video. All of the descriptions and stitches are going to be for you down in the description. If you've made it this far, we're working on part 3. We're going to be grabbing our multicolor yarn to make the triangle granny squares that are going to fill in the empty spaces. So I'm chaining 3, working into that first chain to create my loop. Chaining 3 counts as a double crochet here. Then I'm going to work another 5 double crochet into this opening for a total of 6 double crochet. We're essentially working half of the granny square that we did for the pumpkin round. So I have 6 double crochet. I'm going to close into that first chain space to make a little circle. And then I'm going to work the next round by chaining 2 and working 2 double crochet into each stitch around. This should give me 12 double crochet. Once you have your 12 double crochet, we're going to work on the next round. And to do that, we are going to be working 2 double crochet followed by 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So you can see we're building this flat edge that's going to give it a triangle shape when we join it together. So chain 2 into that same stitch, double crochet another one that counts as 2 stitches. Into the next 1 double crochet. And then repeat 2 double crochet into the next stitch around. As you can see, we're building that flat edge, and then from here we are going to work that row of single crochet around. You can decide to change colors here if you're not using this multi-print, and we are just going to be working into each stitch around for a single crochet. You should have 18 single crochet by the time you work into each stitch, and then when we get to the end, we are going to start building the triangle shape. For this round, I am going to be using my multi-print color, and I'm building the triangle shape to this half circle. I'm going to start by chaining 4 because we're working a treble crochet right next to it, just like how we did on the previous round making the granny squares. I'm going to yarn over twice, pull my yarn up to complete a treble crochet into that same space. Then I'm going to work a double crochet into the next stitch, followed by 1 more double crochet into the next stitch after that. It's the same repeat that we did making the granny squares on part 1 of this video. So I'm going to do a series of 4 single crochet, followed by another 2 double crochet. This gets me to the tip of this triangle granny square. In the tip, I'm going to work 2 treble crochet, followed by a chain 2, and then another 2 treble crochet into that same space. So 4 treble crochet total. repeat the series that I did before with 2 double crochet into the next 2 spaces, followed by 4 single crochet, followed by another 2 double crochet, and then into the very last space, I'm going to work 2 more treble crochet. You're going to need to create 3 of those little triangles to complete this bandana. And now we are ready to finally join them together. So thank you for watching this far. If you want to hit subscribe at this point, you can take a little break, but I'm going to immediately get started so we can finish this cute Halloween bandana. I am going to be using my black yarn to join these granny squares together. You can use whatever joining method that you like to do. I'm just going to do a simple basic into each stitch across each square, join them on the front side. I'm joining them on the front side because it's going to give a little bit of texture and definition, especially since I've used this multi-print color. That way that my seam shows on the front side. If you want your seam to show on the back, just do the same thing except be working onto the wrong side of the squares, not the right side of the squares. So I am just using my crochet hook to work into each stitch along the squares. I'm lining them up so that the stitches match. They should equally have the same stitches across, and I'm just going to be putting a loose single crochet into each stitch. At this point, you can see I have the 3 jack-o'-lantern squares joined together, and it's formed a V shape. Now I'm going to use the little triangle granny squares to kind of fill in the shape of the bandana. And the goal is to fit your head, so if you need to adjust the size in any way you can, but I'm just going to be putting these 3 triangle pieces along the top to form a straight edge, and this straight edge is going to be sitting along the hairline or the crown of the head. Now we're ready to finally get started on the very last piece of this bandana. Congratulations for making it this far. We are going to be making a cute tie that goes around the back of the head, as well as we're going to add a pretty little scalloped edging just to finish off the edges. The scalloped edging is optional, so if you decide you want to skip that, no worries. Thank you so much for following along to this cute bandana. I really hope you enjoy it. Let me show you how I'm getting started. I'm just going to choose a yarn color here and attach at the very corner space. And what I'm going to be doing is adding basically a single crochet edging along the front crown that's going to sit along the head. This is optional. It's just for a more complete finished look when you're wearing it. So I'm just going to loosely put single crochets into each stitch across. There's no exact stitch count here. It's just up to you. Like I said, it's optional, but you can watch me do that real quick and then we'll get started on the next piece. Okay, now we have completed the side of the bandana. So we are going to quickly add a piece that's going to tie around the back of your head. All I'm doing is joining the yarn and just chaining a long chain. For me, that's going to be anywhere between 50 and about 72 chains. It really depends on the circumference you want to tie around the back of your head. I sometimes like to leave a little extra room to tie it in a bow. So for me, I'm going to chain about 72, but just however many chains you want to do here, this part's just so simple. And then once we get to the end of this chain, all we're going to do is simply work back across the chain in single crochets. The point of doing this is to make it a little thicker so it's not just kind of a loose chained edge. And so I'll show you here. All we're going to do is take our crochet hook and working into the second chain from the hook, just do a simple single crochet into each stitch across this cord. You're going to do the same process on the other side so that you have a cord to tie on both sides of the bandana. While the yarn is still attached, I'm just going to slip stitch back into the corner and I'm going to work a simple scallop along the side of my bandana. So to do this, I'm just going to make some shell stitches, which are going to be 5 double crochet all into the same space. And then to space my scalloped edge along the side of the bandana, I'm just going to be skipping a few stitches after I make this shell. So what I'm going to do is make a shell however many double crochets you want, and then I'm just going to single crochet into about 4 stitches between these scallops. That way I don't have too many clustered together. You can kind of estimate how you want to do it. I'm doing 4 single crochet to divide them, and then I'm doing about 5 double crochet into the same space to make my scallops. I'm just going to be doing this along the whole edge of the bandana, and I'll show you what I do at the very tip. So I've worked one shell into the very point of my bandana, and then I'm just going to work up the next side the same way I worked down the first side. So I just put one shell into the very tip. You can decide to make this shell a little bigger if you want to, but just see how it works for you. I'm just working up the next side the same way I did the first side, and then I'm just going to complete with a slip stitch onto the very point of my bandana, and that's basically it for you. Thanks so much for watching this 3-part tutorial. I really hope you enjoy your crochet bandana. Hit subscribe down at the bottom for more, and thanks for watching.